The murder of Tim McLean. On July 30th, 2008, Tim McLean, a carnival barker by trade, caught Greyhound bus 1170 to Winnipeg after working at a fair in Alberta. The exhausted McLean took a seat in the back of the bus, and at some point, Vince Lee boarded the bus and took a seat in the front. As the trip ensued, Lee maneuvered to the back and found himself seated next to McLean. Sleeping with his headphones on, Tim opened his eyes briefly and gave Lee a nod and immediately went back to sleep. Out of his coat, Lee produced a large knife and began stabbing McLean in the neck and chest. The bus driver pulled to the side of the road so that he and all the other passengers could exit the vehicle. At that point, McLean had succumbed to his injuries. Lee proceeds using the knife like a saw and decapitates McLean. Lee then displayed the severed head as if it were a trophy. He began slicing strips of skin from McLean's body and eating them. Several passengers and even the driver attempted to help McLean, and each attempt ended with Lee chasing the would-be helpers away and off of the bus. Police received a call about a stabbing on a Greyhound bus at approximately 8:30 p.m. Officers respond and find the suspect still on board the bus. A standoff had ensued. At approximately 9:00 p.m., Lee paced the length of the bus, muttering inaudibly and still eating parts of McLean's body. Officers began clearing out passengers from the crime scene, taking them to safety and to be interviewed about what they had just witnessed. For some reason, the officers never pressed forward to apprehend Lee, even though he was the only living person that remained on the bus. At about 1:30 a.m. the following morning, Vince Lee attempted to deboard the bus from a window. Officers tased Lee and subsequently took him into custody. Officers were horrified when they entered the bus. Blood spatter covered the rear portion of the bus. Officers recovered numerous plastic bags containing McLean's body parts. His ear, nose, and tongue were found in Lee's pocket. Tim McLean's eyes and a part of his heart were never recovered and are presumed to have been eaten by Lee. To this day, it is a mystery why officers never attempted to gain entry to the bus by force. Investigators searched for a reason for Lee's actions leading up to that fateful day. He had been fired from Walmart 4 weeks earlier, though he also had 2 other jobs. One of them was at a fast food restaurant and the other being a newspaper delivery. Friends, associates, and co-workers told authorities that Lee's never exhibited any signs of aggression or mental imbalance. Oddly, Vince Lee had arrived at the bus stop 24 plus hours before the bus was scheduled. Witnesses say Lee sat on the bench at the bus stop the whole time. Vince Lee's murder trial began on March 3, 2009. As expected, Lee pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. He testified to the court that God's voice told him McLean was a force of evil and that he must execute him. Judge Schofield accepted the plea ruling that Lee was not criminally responsible for the murder. Vince Lee's sentence was carried out as follows. On June 3rd, 2010, Lee was granted supervised outdoor walks within his mental health facility. On May 30th, 2011, his doctor had recommended that he receive more freedom, phased in over several months. On May 17th, 2012, Lee began to receive passes that allowed him out of the mental health facility for visits to town. He would be supervised by a nurse and peace officer at all times. On March 6, 2014, Lee began receiving unsupervised visits starting at 30 minutes and expanding to full-day trips. On February 27, 2015, Lee was given unsupervised day passes to visit Winnipeg, with the stipulation that he carry a functioning cell phone while out. On May 8, 2015, Lee was granted passes to group homes in the community. In February 2016, Lee had legally changed his name and was given authority to live independently upon the recommendation of the Criminal Review Board. On February 10, 2017, the Manitoba Criminal Code Review Board granted Lee an absolute discharge with no legal obligations or restrictions pertaining to Lee's independent living. In other words, not even a decade after murdering, mutilating, and consuming an innocent man, Vince Lee was now a free man.